The vast blackness of space stretched endlessly before the horizon, a sleek human starship built for exploration. Its hull gleamed faintly under the light of distant stars, reflecting 1,000,000 points of distant suns. Captain Lyra Vance stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the viewscreen, yet her thoughts wandered beyond the blinking instruments and glowing panels. For years, humanity had reached into the stars, mapping planets, asteroids, and moons, but there was always the same sense that something was waiting beyond the edge of their knowledge, something they had not yet seen. The silence was broken by a soft ping from the long-range scanners. Lieutenant Ryan, the ship's navigation officer, leaned forward, adjusting the controls. "Captain, we're detecting an unidentified object on the edge of the system. It's massive, nearly 3 times the size of our vessel. I've never seen anything like it." Lyra turned sharply, her curiosity piqued. "Show me," she said. The main view screen flickered, revealing a shadowed silhouette against the faint glow of a distant star. The object was enormous and strange. Unlike any human-made ship, it had no wings, no familiar panels, no recognizable engines. Its surface was smooth, flowing, almost organic in design. Soft pulses of light ran along its hull in irregular patterns, as though the vessel were breathing. Ensign Dax, the youngest crew member, leaned forward with wide eyes. It's beautiful, but I don't see any crew on board. It looks abandoned." Captain Vance nodded, though unease tightened her chest. "We don't know what it is. Prepare a small team for exploration. Sensors first. Keep everyone on alert. If it's hostile, we'll retreat." The small exploration team suited up, their helmets clicking into place as they entered the docking shuttle. The rest of the crew watched from the bridge as the shuttle detached from the horizon and moved toward the enormous, silent vessel. No lights, no signals, nothing greeted them. The shuttle approached slowly, scanning every detail. The ship's surface seemed to shimmer as they neared, as though it were aware of their presence. "Captain," Ryan's voice came through the comms, "I'm not detecting any energy signatures typical of life support or artificial intelligence. It's completely silent. And yet somehow, it's moving slightly, not drifting, adjusting its orientation, but we didn't give it commands." Lyra frowned. "Explain." Dax's voice trembled with awe. "It's moving on its own. We didn't touch it. It just responded." A chill ran down the captain's spine. The shuttle drew closer and the massive airlock loomed ahead. With a soft hiss, it opened as if welcoming them, though no one had given the command. The team exchanged nervous glances, but curiosity overcame fear. Inside, the ship was unlike anything human technology had produced. Corridors curved organically, walls shifting in subtle ways, as if the ship itself were adjusting to their presence. Lights flickered on, revealing hallways and rooms, but there were no consoles, no chairs, no signs of conventional machinery. It was clean, elegant, and almost alive. Dax reached out to touch the wall, and it shifted slightly under his hand, smooth and warm, as if acknowledging him. "It's responding," he whispered. "It's alive, somehow." Captain Vance's voice was steady, though her heart raced. "Keep moving. Scan everything. Report to me immediately if anything unusual happens." As the team explored deeper, the ship seemed to anticipate their needs. Doors opened before they reached them. Equipment necessary for exploration appeared along the walls, as if prepared in advance. When Ryan tried to access the shuttle's portable scanner to map the interior, the device suddenly synced with the ship itself, projecting a holographic map in the center of the corridor. It highlighted safe routes, areas of interest, and even zones where structural integrity might be weak. "It knows where we are," Ryan murmured, staring at the map. "And it knows what we need. But there's no AI, no crew, nothing human. How is this possible? Dax looked around, awe written across his face. It's intelligent, not like us, but aware, like it can think. Captain Vance swallowed hard, realizing that the reality of the situation was far more extraordinary than she had imagined. If it is intelligent, we must be careful. Treat it with respect. Observe, but do not attempt to control it. For hours, the team wandered the ship, cataloging strange machinery and unknown materials. The walls hummed softly in response to their presence, and subtle pulses of light guided them toward areas of interest. Occasionally, the ship seemed to shift slightly, changing the layout, but always returning them safely to the central corridor. Back on the horizon, the bridge crew observed the readings with both fascination and unease. Sensors recorded fluctuations in energy, but nothing that could be classified as a life form. Yet the ship's movements were precise, deliberate, almost thoughtful. "I've never seen anything like this," Ryan said, voice low with wonder. "It's responding to us without input. It's alive in a way we don't understand." Captain Vance nodded, tension mingling with curiosity. "Prepare a detailed report. We need to study this carefully. This could be the first contact with something truly non-human." As night fell in the distant star system, the small team continued exploring. They entered a large chamber filled with intricate patterns of light and metal. A soft vibration filled the room, not loud enough to be heard, but enough to be felt in their bones. Dax placed his hand on the wall, and the vibration intensified slightly, as if the ship were communicating. "It's trying to tell us something," he said, eyes wide. "But I don't understand it." Captain Vance approached, placing a hand lightly on the wall beside him. "Neither do I, Dax. But it's clear. This ship has its own mind. It's responding to our presence, perhaps even our intentions. We need to respect that." Suddenly, a corridor opened that none of them had seen before. The path led to a central chamber dominated by a massive, translucent core. Light flowed through it in complex patterns, pulsating in rhythm with the vibrations the team had felt. The core's energy seemed almost sentient, reacting as if it were alive. Ryan's scanner flared to life, unable to keep pace with the energy emanating from the core. "Captain, I think this is the control center, but there's no control system. No consoles, no interfaces, nothing human-made. And yet, the ship is functional, fully functional." Ilara stepped closer, studying the core with a mixture of awe and caution. "It's beautiful," she whispered, "and powerful. We must not underestimate it." Dax, unable to contain his excitement, asked, "Do you think it can communicate? Maybe it understands us?" The ship seemed to respond. The lights pulsed in a slow, rhythmic pattern. A subtle vibration filled the room, and the air shimmered slightly, as if charged with intention. The team paused, sensing a presence, though they could not see it. It was as if the ship itself were alive, aware of them, and choosing not to harm them. Captain Vance drew a deep breath. "It's communicating, but not in words we know. We must observe and learn, carefully." Hours passed as the team explored the central chamber. The ship moved with them, opening pathways, illuminating corridors, and guiding them safely. At one point, Ryan nearly tripped over an unseen threshold, but the floor beneath him shifted, rising slightly, preventing a fall. "It's protecting us," he said, astonished. "It's thoughtful." Ilara nodded. "We are guests here. We must act accordingly." When the team finally returned to the shuttle, the ship allowed them to leave with no resistance. The airlock closed behind them, yet the ship's surface continued to pulse softly, as if watching them depart. Back on the horizon, the crew watched in awe as the shuttle docked safely. The ship, the mysterious vessel, drifted silently once more, waiting, observing. Captain Vance stood at the bridge, staring at the view screen. "We have discovered something extraordinary," she said quietly. "Something beyond our understanding. But we must proceed with caution. This ship, it's alive in ways we cannot comprehend. It responds to us without command, protects us without reason, and yet it has no words, no voice. We have entered a new chapter of exploration, one that will test our understanding of intelligence, life, and our place in the universe." As the Horizon prepared to study the alien ship further, a quiet excitement spread through the crew. The possibilities were endless. Humanity had discovered a new form of intelligence, not in a being, not in a race, but in a ship. A living vessel, capable of thought and action without human instruction. And for the first time, they realized that the universe was far more mysterious and wondrous than they had ever imagined. The stars outside glittered endlessly, and the alien ship pulsed softly, a silent sentinel in the darkness, waiting for humanity to understand the true nature of its existence. And somewhere deep inside the ship, as if it had been aware of their every move, the pulsing lights shifted slightly, almost imperceptibly, as though acknowledging the humans, the explorers who had dared to enter its domain. It was the beginning of a journey unlike any humanity had ever known, and none of them could guess what lay ahead. The crew of the Horizon had barely recovered from their first encounter with the alien vessel when the ship began to reveal more of its strange, silent intelligence. Captain Lyra Vance ordered the sensors and scanners to continue mapping the mysterious vessel, yet every reading only deepened the mystery. The ship's systems appeared alive, not mechanical, yet fully functional. Lieutenant Ryan and Ensign Dax worked side by side on the bridge, examining the streams of data flowing from the alien ship. "Captain," Ryan said, voice tense with fascination, "the ship seems to anticipate what we need. I've been monitoring its movements for the last few hours. It's adjusting its orientation not because of our commands, but seemingly in response to our intentions. Even before we make decisions, it moves in alignment with them." Lyra frowned, leaning over the console. "Are you saying it reads our minds?" Ryan shook his head. "Not exactly. I don't think it reads thoughts. It senses intentions, behavior patterns, even emotional responses. It reacts to what we plan to do next. We haven't touched it, and yet it knows where we want to go." Dax, who had been staring at the main screen, finally spoke. "It's helping us, but I feel strange. It's not just helping, it's guiding, protecting, like it knows danger is coming before we do." Before anyone could answer, the ship made a sudden, subtle shift. The sensors detected a small cluster of space debris moving at high speed toward them. The alien vessel rotated smoothly, extending a part of its hull to create a shield, deflecting the debris without human input. The team on the Horizon watched, astonished. Captain Vance's voice was steady, but her thoughts raced. "It's acting without being commanded, and it saved us. That was instinctive, not programmed." As hours passed, the alien ship began responding to more than just immediate threats. When the Horizon's navigation systems indicated a difficult maneuver around a nearby asteroid belt, the vessel adjusted its own position to align with the human ship, making the passage smoother and safer. Crew members exchanged glances, realizing that the ship's intelligence was not reactive. It was proactive. "Captain," Dax said quietly, "it's thinking ahead. It's planning, not just following us." Lyra nodded slowly. "Yes, and we need to understand what that means. If it's capable of independent thought, we must proceed carefully. One wrong move could provoke it, or worse, confuse it." The crew decided to attempt a more direct interaction. Using the shuttle, they entered the alien ship again, this time attempting to communicate through gestures, lights, and simple mechanical commands. Yet the ship ignored all attempts at conventional communication. Instead, It responded to the crew's needs before they even made them clear. In one corridor, the team approached a chamber that appeared to contain tools and equipment. As Dax reached for a device to measure structural integrity, the instrument floated gently toward his hand, guided by an invisible force. A soft light illuminated the chamber, highlighting weak points in the walls. Ryan watched in disbelief. It's almost as if it's reading our intentions, not our commands. Captain Vance placed a hand on the wall, feeling the subtle vibration coursing through it. The pulse of energy was rhythmic, steady, almost like a heartbeat. "This is extraordinary," she whispered. "It's not just responding. It's alive, aware, and capable of understanding in ways we cannot yet comprehend." As the team explored deeper, they discovered that the ship seemed to understand danger better than any human crew. A section of the corridor ahead glowed faintly red, signaling an unstable area. When the team paused, uncertain, the walls shifted slightly, creating a safe path around the hazard. The ship was communicating without words, through motion, light, and energy. "This isn't just a machine," Ryan said. "It's intelligent and it's thinking, maybe even reasoning." Dax, ever curious, asked, "But why help us? Why protect us? We haven't given it anything." Illyra's eyes remained on the walls, feeling the gentle hum of energy. "Perhaps it understands cooperation. Perhaps its intelligence is designed to support life, not control it. We don't know its origins, but it's clear it recognizes us as allies, or at least as entities worthy of its protection." For the next several hours, the crew documented every movement, every response. They noted that the ship not only reacted to immediate dangers, but also to long-term needs. When the crew grew tired or required supplies, equipment appeared along the walls, precisely arranged for convenience. When the shuttle needed to dock, the alien vessel extended sections of its hull to facilitate a perfect connection. All of this occurred without commands, without even verbal interaction. The Horizon's crew realized that they were experiencing a partnership unlike any humanity had ever known. It was as if the ship understood not just their actions, but their goals, intentions, and safety requirements. Every movement was guided, every path illuminated, every danger averted before it even became apparent. As the exploration continued, the team entered a vast chamber at the ship's center. The room was illuminated by soft, shifting lights that reflected off the walls in patterns resembling constellations. At the center floated a crystalline structure, pulsing with energy, radiating warmth and subtle vibrations. The crew instinctively knew this was the heart of the ship, the source of its intelligence and awareness. Dax stepped closer, feeling the vibration travel up his arm. "It's alive. Not in the way we understand life, but alive. It's aware, and it knows we are here." Captain Vance studied the core carefully. "It's a form of consciousness unlike anything we've encountered. No brain, no organ, no familiar AI structure, and yet it functions perfectly. It senses, it reacts, it protects, it guides. It is extraordinary." Suddenly, the lights shifted and the room seemed to change. A pathway opened that had not been visible before. The team hesitated, unsure whether to proceed, but the pulse of the core felt reassuring, as though the ship itself encouraged them forward. Ryan whispered, "It wants us to explore further. It's inviting us deeper, but cautiously, as if testing our intentions." The crew continued down the new path. As they moved, subtle changes in the walls and floor guided their steps, always keeping them safe, always anticipating their needs. It became clear that the alien ship was not merely intelligent, it was wise. It could predict outcomes, prevent harm, and enhance human capability in ways no human engineer could achieve. Back on the Horizon, Captain Vance's first officer monitored the ship's position relative to the alien vessel. "It's incredible," he said. It's not following us, it's choosing to align with us. It's a choice, not programming. Lyra nodded, a mixture of awe and respect in her eyes. Yes, and that is what makes this encounter unique. We are not controlling it. We are partners, in a way we don't fully understand yet. Over the following days, the humans and the alien ship began an unspoken collaboration. The ship responded to hazards before they occurred, guided exploration through uncharted systems, and even suggested paths of least resistance in space debris fields. It was not obeying commands. It was acting with intention, reasoning, and awareness. One evening, as the human crew rested, the ship performed a maneuver that left them astonished. A rogue asteroid, previously undetected, hurtled toward the horizon. Without warning, the alien vessel extended a part of its hull to create a barrier, absorbing the impact and preventing catastrophic damage. The crew felt the tremor, but all systems remained intact. Dax looked at the view screen, wide-eyed. It knew the asteroid was coming before we did. It acted before danger even existed for us. Ryan shook his head in disbelief. This isn't reactive intelligence. It's foresight, planning, anticipation. It's extraordinary. Captain Vance stood silently, watching the alien ship drift alongside them. She realized that humanity had encountered a form of intelligence far beyond their understanding. It was not human, not mechanical, not biological in any way they could recognize, and yet it shared a purpose with them: exploration, safety, and cooperation. This is the first time in human history we've met a being, or a vessel, that acts independently yet chooses to work with us, she said softly. We are witnessing something that challenges everything we thought we knew about intelligence, life, and partnership. The ship pulsed softly, almost as if acknowledging her words. It was a silent affirmation that their collaboration had begun. Humanity had discovered not just a vessel, but a mind that could think, act, and protect without orders, without spoken words, without expectation. As the days passed, the crew of the Horizon learned to move in harmony with the alien ship. They no longer tried to issue commands. Instead, they observed, they anticipated, and they trusted. Every step, every maneuver, every new system explored was guided by an intelligence that acted for the greater good. And somewhere deep within the alien ship, the crystalline core pulsed with energy, learning, observing, and choosing to guide. It was aware of the humans, aware of their curiosity, their intentions, their desire to explore. It did not obey them. It chose to assist them, to protect them, to share the journey. Captain Vance watched from the bridge as the alien ship drifted alongside the Horizon, their silent companion in the vast emptiness of space. She knew that this encounter marked the beginning of a new chapter in human history. Humanity was no longer alone, not in the traditional sense. They had found an intelligence that transcended species, machines, and life as they knew it. It was a partnership without words, without commands, without control. It was a relationship built on trust, understanding, and shared purpose, and it was only the beginning. The stars outside glittered endlessly, and the alien vessel pulsed softly beside the horizon, guiding, protecting, and watching. Humanity had entered a new era, one where intelligence was not measured by familiar forms or commands, but by the choices it made, the lives it protected, and the journey it chose to share. And for the first time, the humans realized that exploration was no longer about control. It was about trust, observation, and partnership with a mind far greater than their own. The Horizon drifted through the deep expanse of space, accompanied by the silent, intelligent vessel that had become their constant companion. Captain Lyra Vance watched the stars stretch endlessly across the view screen, feeling a strange mixture of wonder and unease. Humanity had never encountered intelligence like this before, a mind without flesh or circuitry as they knew it, yet aware, proactive, and infinitely patient. For several days, the crew had grown accustomed to the alien ship's guidance. It led them through asteroid fields with ease, avoided gravitational anomalies, and even created small adjustments to space-time distortions that humans barely understood. Yet none of the crew had issued commands, and none were needed. The ship acted, anticipated, and protected, with a precision that left them both awed and slightly uneasy. Lieutenant Ryan leaned back in his chair, rubbing his temples. "Captain, I've been running simulations," he said quietly. "Even if we tried to control it, it would be impossible. It doesn't follow instructions. It acts on its own. And every time it intervenes, it does what keeps us safest, not what we expect." Lyra nodded, her gaze fixed on the alien vessel. "That's precisely what makes it remarkable, but it's also dangerous. We don't know its limits, and we don't know its purpose. We must remain cautious." Dax, ever the curious one, tapped the comm panel. "Captain, the ship just changed course slightly. We didn't tell it to. Is that normal?" Lyra frowned. "It seems to sense a situation we cannot yet detect. Monitor the sensors closely." Within minutes, the Horizon's scanners detected a massive storm of cosmic debris moving at alarming speed through a nearby sector. Normally, this region would be avoided, but the alien ship adjusted its orientation, subtly guiding the human vessel toward a safer path. It was no longer just reactive. It was actively navigating threats that the humans could barely perceive. The crew gathered at the bridge, tension in every line of their faces. "It's predicting danger," Dax said, voice trembling slightly. "It knows where the debris will go before it even happens. It's thinking ahead." Captain Vance's jaw tightened. "Yes, and that means we are not in command here. We are passengers in a partnership we barely understand." As they moved through the hazardous region, the alien ship extended part of its hull, creating a buffer between the horizon and the most dangerous fragments. The human ship's shields flared, and vibrations rippled through the hull, but there was no damage. The crew exhaled in unison, their relief mingled with awe. Ryan glanced at the view screen. "It's incredible. Every action it takes is perfectly calculated. No hesitation, no error. It's not just intelligent, it's almost flawless." Ilara's eyes never left the glowing outline of the alien vessel. "We don't know if it's infallible. We cannot assume that what protects us today will protect us tomorrow. But for now, we trust it because we have no choice." Hours later, the crew attempted to continue their survey of nearby star systems. They had planned to take samples from a newly discovered planet, but the alien ship shifted again, blocking the path. Its hull shimmered slightly, as if communicating a warning. Ryan frowned. "It's preventing us from approaching, but there's no visible danger here." Dax's eyes widened. "Maybe it senses something we can't see. Radiation, gravitational anomalies, or worse. Maybe it knows the planet isn't safe." Captain Vance considered this carefully. "We've learned to trust it so far. If it's warning us, we should listen. Prepare the ship for rerouting. Follow its guidance." The alien vessel adjusted its position, creating a clear path away from the planet. As they followed, the sensors detected an unstable gravitational wave moving through the system. Without the alien ship's intervention, the Horizon would have been caught in the wave, potentially disabling engines and communication systems. "It predicted it," Dax whispered, awe in his voice. "It knew before we did." Lyra placed her hand on the console, feeling a mixture of fear and admiration. "This is a mind unlike anything we've ever encountered. It's not just reactive, it understands consequences, risks, and safety in ways we cannot even calculate." That night, The crew held a meeting in the observation deck. Stars stretched in every direction, and the alien vessel floated silently beside them, a constant reminder of the unknown intelligence guiding their journey. "We have to accept a new reality," Ryan said, voice low. "We are no longer the sole decision-makers. We are partners. But we don't know its rules, its limits, or even its purpose, and we are entirely dependent on its judgment." Dax nodded. "It's helping us survive, exploring, guiding us. But I can't shake the feeling, what if one day it decides we are wrong or dangerous?" Captain Vance's eyes scanned the horizon of stars. "Then we must hope that what it values aligns with our survival. For now, we continue to observe, learn, and cooperate. We are not controlling it. We are learning to trust it." Days passed, and the alien ship continued to demonstrate intelligence beyond human comprehension. It altered energy flows to create protective fields, adjusted trajectories to avoid unseen hazards, and even projected visual representations of distant areas the humans could not reach physically. Every action was precise, deliberate, and calculated for maximum efficiency. During one such projection, Dax reached toward a holographic map of a nearby system. "Captain, look at this. It's showing the gravitational paths of planets and asteroids, and even predicting their future movements. It's not just helping us now, it's showing us possibilities, outcomes before they happen." Ryan's mouth fell open. "It's predictive. It can simulate the future. That's impossible for any human system." Lyra nodded slowly. "Not impossible. Beyond us. We are witnessing intelligence that does not rely on commands or instructions. It observes, it learns, and it acts. And we are part of that process." The crew continued their work, cautiously exploring nearby star systems. At one point, a sudden solar flare erupted from a distant sun, sending waves of radiation that could have disabled the horizon's systems. Before any alarms sounded, the alien vessel extended a part of its hull, creating a shield that absorbed the impact. The crew felt the shockwave, but remained unharmed. Dax turned to Ryan, voice trembling with excitement. "It's saving us before we even know we're in danger. I don't even know how to process this." Ryan shook his head. "We are not in charge. We are witnesses. And we are learning what it means to work with a mind far beyond ours." Captain Vance stepped forward, placing her hands on the railing. "We are witnessing a new form of intelligence, one that acts for the greater good without needing commands. We are seeing cooperation in its purest form." The following day, the alien ship guided them to a nebula filled with ionized gases. The humans planned to take samples for study, but the ship subtly shifted, creating corridors of safe passage through the unstable clouds. They discovered that the gases, if mishandled, could have damaged their instruments. The alien vessel adjusted constantly, guiding them to areas where the clouds were stable, ensuring the humans could safely gather data. "This is beyond any assistance we could have imagined," Dax said quietly. "It's not just helping, it's teaching." Lyra observed the scene with pride and caution. "And we must learn to respect it. We cannot treat it as a tool. It is a partner, a guide, and a protector. And we must accept that we are no longer in full control." As the crew prepared to leave the nebula, the alien ship paused, allowing the humans to move forward while maintaining a protective buffer. Its movements were graceful, precise, and intentional. The crew felt a deep sense of reassurance, though none fully understood the depth of the ship's awareness. Hours later, communications with Earth were interrupted by a sudden energy surge from a nearby star. Normally, such a surge would have disabled their systems and stranded them. The alien vessel reacted immediately, creating a protective field that absorbed the energy. The crew watched in silent awe as the ship maneuvered flawlessly, protecting them from an invisible danger. Ryan finally spoke, his voice trembling. This is not just intelligence, it's foresight, understanding, and awareness. It's beyond anything we could create. It's alive in ways we cannot imagine. Captain Vance nodded, her eyes fixed on the alien ship. And it chooses to guide us, protect us, and explore with us. That choice is its gift. We must honor it by learning, observing, and respecting its intelligence. The crew continued their journey, relying on the alien ship not only for safety, but also for understanding. Every hazard avoided, every maneuver made, every discovery explored was guided by an intelligence that thought, reasoned, and acted without instruction. The humans realized that they were no longer the leaders of their journey. They were participants in a partnership with a mind far greater than their own, and that realization brought both humility and awe. As the stars stretched endlessly ahead, the alien ship pulsed softly beside the horizon, guiding, protecting, and observing. Humanity had entered a new chapter of exploration, one in which intelligence was measured not by commands or programming, but by the choices made, the lives protected, and the journeys shared. Captain Vance watched from the bridge, a sense of wonder filling her heart. "We are witnessing history," she whispered, "not just of humanity, but of intelligence itself. And we are fortunate to be part of it." The alien vessel pulsed again, almost imperceptibly, as though acknowledging her words. It was a silent affirmation that the partnership had deepened, that trust had been earned, and that humanity had begun a journey into a universe filled with intelligence far beyond their own. And as the horizon moved forward, guided by the unseen yet powerful mind beside them, the humans realized that exploration was no longer about control. It was about trust, observation, and the willingness to walk alongside a mind far greater than their own. The horizon floated silently through the endless void, accompanied by the alien ship that had become both their guide and protector. Captain Lyra Vance stood on the bridge, eyes scanning the stars, yet her mind was on the strange vessel beside them. It had guided them safely through debris fields, cosmic storms, and unstable nebulae, never faltering, never asking for anything in return. For the crew, the journey had become as much about understanding the ship as it was about exploring space. The crew had grown accustomed to the alien vessel's intelligence. It no longer merely reacted to danger. It acted with foresight, adjusting their course to avoid threats they could not see, preparing paths for safe exploration, and subtly nudging the human ship toward discoveries. It was no longer just a partner. It had become a teacher, silently revealing the possibilities of the universe. Lieutenant Ryan studied the data streams flowing from the alien ship. "Captain, I've never seen anything like this. It's anticipating not just physical obstacles but likely outcomes based on our actions. It's predictive intelligence at a scale we cannot comprehend." Lyra nodded, her eyes fixed on the glowing outline of the alien vessel. "And yet it does not force its will. It guides, it protects, it collaborates, but it never controls. That is what makes it extraordinary. That is what makes it alive." Ensign Dax approached the captain, his voice quiet. "I keep thinking about why it's helping us. We haven't given it anything. We're strangers to it, and yet it trusts us, protects us. How does it choose what is right?" Lyra took a deep breath, her gaze still on the pulsing vessel. "Perhaps its intelligence is built on understanding, not obedience. Perhaps it sees cooperation, trust, and mutual benefit as the highest purpose. We may never know its origins, but we must respect its choice to share this journey with us." As they drifted deeper into uncharted space, the horizon's sensors detected a massive gravitational anomaly ahead. The readings were unstable, unpredictable, and potentially dangerous. Normally, such a discovery would have caused panic among human crews, but the presence of the alien vessel reassured them. Without hesitation, the ship extended part of its hull, creating a protective corridor and guiding the horizon safely through the shifting gravitational waves. The crew watched in silent awe. Dax whispered, "It's choosing the safest path for us again, before we even knew there was danger." Ryan nodded slowly. "It's proactive. It understands consequences. It's not reacting. It's predicting, calculating, and acting in real time, and we are completely reliant on it." Captain Vance stood, her hands resting lightly on the console. "Yes, and that is the lesson we must learn. Intelligence is not always about commands. Sometimes it is about choice, about the understanding of others, about protecting without expectation, about acting without control." Hours later, the alien ship guided the horizon to a system filled with glowing asteroids, rich in minerals and elements unknown to humanity. The crew prepared to collect samples, yet the ship subtly adjusted its position, guiding the horizon to areas that were safest, avoiding unstable asteroids that could have caused catastrophe. "This is remarkable," Ryan said, scanning the data. "Every path it chooses, every adjustment it makes, ensures our safety while maximizing discovery. It's teaching us how to navigate challenges we didn't even know existed." Dax floated toward a holographic projection of the asteroid field. "And it doesn't just show us what's safe. It shows what's possible. Look at this. It's highlighting potential outcomes of each path through the field. It's predicting probability, consequences, and choices." Lyra smiled faintly. "We are learning, not just from observation, but from partnership. This is the true nature of intelligence, not control but understanding, not reaction but foresight." Suddenly, the sensors detected a rogue asteroid hurtling toward the horizon. Before anyone could react, the alien vessel extended part of its hull to create a protective barrier. The impact shook the human ship slightly, but all systems remained intact. The crew exhaled in unison, their relief mingled with awe and gratitude. Ryan turned to the captain, voice low. "It did that before we even realized the danger. It predicted the impact, acted instantly, and ensured our safety. I've never witnessed anything like it." Ilara's eyes were steady, filled with respect. "It's not just intelligence, it's wisdom. And we must honor it by understanding its lessons, by observing, learning, and respecting its choices." The humans continued exploring the system, guided and protected by the alien vessel. They discovered strange energy readings, unusual planetary formations, and rare minerals that could expand humanity's understanding of the universe. Every discovery was made possible not by human skill alone, but by the cooperation between human curiosity and alien foresight. One evening, as the crew rested on the observation deck, Captain Vance spoke quietly to herself, staring at the alien ship gliding beside them. "We have learned more in these few days than we could have in decades alone, and yet we have barely scratched the surface. It is showing us what is possible, and we are only beginning to understand." Dax approached, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Captain, do you think it understands us? Really understands? Or is it just calculating outcomes?" Ilara considered this, her gaze never leaving the pulsing lights of the alien vessel. "Perhaps it is both. Perhaps it calculates, predicts, and understands at the same time. Intelligence is not limited to thought as we know it. It is choice, awareness, and action. It sees potential, evaluates risk, and acts with purpose. And in doing so, it understands us enough to work with us, guide us, and protect us." As the days passed, the crew learned to move in harmony with the alien ship. They no longer issued commands or attempted to control its actions. Instead, they observed, anticipated, and trusted. Every path chosen, Every hazard avoided, every discovery explored was made possible by the silent, intelligent vessel that acted without orders but with perfect judgment. During a routine survey, the sensors detected an unstable energy field moving rapidly through the system. Normally, this would have caused the crew to panic, but the alien ship shifted instantly, creating a protective corridor and guiding the horizon safely through the field. The humans felt the energy ripple around them, but they were unharmed. Dax stared at the view screen, voice trembling slightly. It knew before we did. It acted before the danger even existed for us. Rion nodded, his eyes wide. It is not just protecting us. It is teaching us what awareness, foresight, and understanding truly mean. Captain Vance placed a hand on the console, feeling a sense of profound respect. We are witnessing intelligence at a level humanity has never imagined. It is guiding us not because it is commanded, but because it chooses to. That is the true gift it offers us, the lesson of cooperation, trust, and understanding. The crew continued their journey, exploring new star systems, navigating dangerous regions, and uncovering mysteries of the cosmos. Every action, every maneuver, every discovery was guided by the alien ship, whose silent intelligence chose to work with humanity rather than control or dominate. As they traveled, the humans realized that they were no longer the leaders of their journey. They were participants in a partnership with a mind far greater than their own. And that realization brought both humility and awe. One night, the horizon approached a small, uncharted planet with a thin atmosphere and unusual magnetic fields. The humans prepared to land for research, but the alien vessel shifted its position slightly, creating a stable path for descent. As the ship guided them, subtle lights illuminated safe landing zones, and vibrations indicated areas of potential danger. Dax whispered, "It's not just guiding us. It's teaching us how to navigate this planet safely, without words, without instructions. It's showing us a new way to understand the universe." Rion studied the readings, voice low. Every move it makes is deliberate, precise, and protective. And it does all of this without commands. It chooses, it observes, it guides. Captain Vance nodded, a sense of deep respect in her eyes. This is the future of exploration. Not control, but partnership. Not obedience, but trust. Not human command, but shared understanding. That is the lesson we must carry forward. As the crew collected data and explored the planet under the guidance of the alien ship, they realized that humanity had entered a new era, one where intelligence was not measured by commands or orders, but by choice, action, and understanding. One where partnership could exist between beings whose minds were entirely different, yet aligned in purpose. At the end of the day, the crew gathered on the observation deck, watching the alien vessel float silently beside them. Stars stretched endlessly across the sky, and the ship pulsed softly, a constant reminder of the intelligence that had chosen to share their journey. Alara spoke quietly, her voice filled with wonder. "We have learned more in these days than we could have in a lifetime. This ship has shown us what it means to protect, to guide, to understand. And it has done so without asking for anything in return. That is the true lesson of intelligence." Dax looked out at the stars, eyes wide. "It's like it knows what we need before we do. It's more than we can comprehend." Ryan nodded slowly. "And that is why we must observe, learn, and respect it. We are part of something far greater than ourselves." Captain Vance placed her hand on the railing, feeling a sense of profound connection with the alien ship. "We have entered a new chapter of human history, one in which exploration is not about control but about trust, not about commands but about understanding, and we are fortunate to be part of it." The alien vessel pulsed again, almost imperceptibly, as if acknowledging her words. It was a silent affirmation that the partnership had deepened, that trust had been earned, and that humanity had begun a journey into a universe filled with intelligence far beyond their own. As the horizon moved forward, guided by the unseen yet powerful mind beside them, the humans realized that exploration was no longer about dominance or control. It was about cooperation, awareness, and partnership with a mind far greater than their own. And in that moment, humanity understood that the universe was no longer a place to conquer, but a place to learn, to observe, and to journey alongside intelligence that chose to guide and protect without command. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and the alien ship pulsed softly beside the horizon, their companion in the vast emptiness of space. Humanity had entered a new era, one where the measure of intelligence was choice, action, and understanding, not obedience, and it was only the beginning. The horizon glided onward, side by side with the alien ship, both traveling through the infinite cosmos. And humanity knew that, for the first time, they were truly not alone.